how many people here have ever had an interest in lowering their CO2 emissions? Nobody apparently. All right. Oh, hey, there we go. All right. What if I told you that I've come up with a way that could not only lower your CO2 emissions, but would be more cost-effective than a hybrid car, and would also lower your CO2 emissions more than a hybrid car? I'm speaking of solar ovens. Since August, I've been researching solar ovens, and through the physics course here, I've come up with a prototype along with the help of Nelson Kilmer and Jaleesa Jeske. But rather than focus on that, I'm actually just going to focus on how it can lower our CO2 emissions as a country. And over the course of my speech, I will be talking about the need for for lowering our CO2 emissions while trying to stay away from the mundane that we've been fed since we were 3. Show you my plan for how to enact my oven, and also discuss how it will affect our country as a whole. All right, so again, with the show of hands, this will be the last time I ask you to do this. How many people have ever been or seen Denver, Colorado? All right, fair number of us, but not all. So, as I'd like to share with you here, this is a picture of Denver, my hometown. It's really beautiful. Sunlight coming off the mountains and the snow. It's quite awesome. However, this is not what Denver always looks like. In fact, most of the time, Denver looks something like this. It's covered in a brown cloud, which is due primarily to CO2 emissions produced by an oil refinery, a box factory, people driving their cars on busy highways, and from what I'd like to discuss, an abundance of electrical use. So, and just how has this CO2 come to be about? Well, using figures from the U.S. Census Bureau in 1999, and also some numbers that I get from Best Buy, I learned that we as Americans, per family, for one conventional oven use, for 1 hour, produce 4.19 pounds of CO2. Think about that. Using your electrical oven for 1 hour, you make 4 pounds. What's that like nationwide? Well, according to the population in 1999, which remember our population is now bigger, according to the population in 1999, if every family used their electrical oven for 1 hour, it would produce more than 380 million pounds of CO2 in 1 hour. I don't know about you, but to my mind at least, that's fairly disgusting. I do not enjoy living in a brown cloud. So what's my plan to get rid of this? Well, as I'd like to show you again from my computer, this here, as I play it, as I play it, this is the oven that I've been working on in the physics lab. Just kind of let it go here. I'll start over in a sec. That I've been working on. I won't share all the total details about it, but the cost of it is about $300 so far. We've made it out of very expensive material. We're thinking about cheapening it. It can attain 400 degrees Fahrenheit, which is more than enough to cook any food, as well as its energy source is abundant and free. No matter how life might feel sometimes, the sun is going to rise tomorrow. It might be behind a cloud, but it is going to rise. And the best part about this is it does not produce any CO2 emissions. You know, people think, oh, you know, I'll get a hybrid or a Prius and then I won't have any CO2 emissions. Well, no, you won't have emissions from the car, but where did the electricity that power that car come from? Or if you have a hybrid, you're still using some form of gas. You're still producing emissions. So, what's my plan then with this oven? As I turn the screen off. My plan is to take this oven and produce it as much as I can. Just make it as widely available as possible. And then get it into as many family hands as I can. And just encourage them for even 1 meal a week, just 1 hour a week, 1 meal. Use this oven instead of their conventional electric. And just see what that would do. From that, we're going to transition into how I believe it will affect America. So going down the line here, these are the actual figures. Why do I keep picking this one? These are the actual figures that I came up and researched. Can't read down that. But the conventional oven for 1 hour uses about 2 kilowatts of power, and there are about 2.19 or 2.095 pounds of CO2 per kilowatt hour. If you take that, and with the population divided by 3, because the U.S. Census Bureau says that the average population, or average family size is 3, you come out with 380,858,166 pounds of CO2 produced for 1 hour of cooking for every family in the United States. Now, if every family were to use the solar oven for just 1 hour a week, that number in the very bottom would not exist. That CO2 would have never been produced, would have never happened, would be gone. And if you use it for even more hours, say you use 2 hours, you can double that. 3 hours, you can triple it. The possibilities go on. And this is, not even using it. I understand people have busy schedules at work during the day, but this is just using it on your weekend for an hour. Everybody can manage that. Some of and some people, they kind of want to know, well, what's the cost side of this? Now, granted, the oven that I've built cost about $300, and conventional oven used for 1 hour, you actually only use about 16 cents a pound. However, if you multiply that again by the number of families out there, it's $29 million. If everybody just used my oven for 1 hour. I don't know, that could go to buying out our national debt, it could go to stimulating our economy, or it could just go into lining our pockets to buy a pack of gum. What I'm saying is that this oven can affect everything. It can save us a ton of money. So as I hope is obvious by now, is that this solar oven that I've been developing since August will give us the power to not only lower our CO2 emissions, but maybe save just a little bit of money. And even if you don't care about any of that, just think